Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of the Mission Matters Money podcast, your source for all things money. My name is Adam Torres. You can follow me on Instagram at AskAdamTorres. Keep up with my book releases, book tour schedule, signings, all that other good stuff. Always love to connect with you there. And as always, if you'd like to apply to become a co-author of one of my upcoming books, just head on over to the website, missionmatters.com, and click on Become an Author to apply. All right, so today I have Jason Labrum on the line, and he's founder and president over at Intelligence Driven Advisors. He's host of Financial Detox podcast, and he's also author of Financial Detox, How to Steer Clear of Toxic Advice, Achieve Financial Independence, and Manage Your Wealth for Maximum Impact. Jason, welcome to the show.
Adam, thanks for having me today. Look forward to having a chat here.
Oh, man, I'm excited to get into this Financial Detox brand. I mean, come on, you have the book, you have the podcast. We're going to get into all of that. But before we do, let's go a little bit further into what you're doing over at Intelligence Driven Advisors. Tell us a little bit more about your company, please.
Yeah, you bet. Thanks, Adam. Intelligence Driven Advisors, we are an RIA, and as in all financial industry, there's no shortage of acronyms. RIA stands for Registered Investment Advisory Firm, which is distinctly different from what most people think of financial firms and what is a broker-dealer firm. So as an RIA, we stand as fiduciaries for our clients, full-time all the time, legally bound to act in our clients' best interest. We provide comprehensive wealth management backed by holistic financial plans designed for each client, specifically and customized for them to help them realize their best potential financial life and enjoy the journey with true financial peace of mind. So that's what Intelligence Driven Advisors is all about. We have offices in Southern California. We're in Scottsdale, Arizona, and Fort Worth, Texas, and love what we do. And we're pushing forward with our nose right up in the chest of Goliath, trying to break the chains of toxic financial advice that has been so ever present in our industry and our country for such a long time.
Man, and I think that's a great transition. I mean, this Financial Detox brand, like I said, the book, the podcast, I mean, tell us a little bit more about how you came up with this and your vision for Financial Detox.
Yeah, thanks. It was interesting. I was talking to a client who is an author, and I had mentioned to her several times how I wanted to write a book, and I had some just ideas about our firm and our industry and how we can help people, and how it's not that terribly difficult to do the right job for clients and to really make a difference in people's lives when it comes to investing, whether it's individuals or businesses or retirement plans. And so I asked her, because she was an author, what do you think about a book and book title? And she kind of started going through some different things, and she was asking me a lot of great questions. She had written a book called Toxic People. And I was talking about, she said, tell me about your business. Tell me about your passions. What's your mission and your belief? And as I did that, she said, you should call this Financial Detox, because you are financially detoxifying people. And so played along the lines of her books of, avoiding toxic people and how to deal with toxic people. And so that's how it was born. And I went to work and wrote the book, which was published in 17. Actually, it might be 18. Geez, time flies, I forget. But not too long ago. We just did a little refresh on a few things on it. And then I was asked to guest on a radio show. And I was on the radio show and talking about Financial Detox, and the station and the gentleman who asked me on said, you probably should just do this yourself. And about 2 weeks later, we had a radio show. So, wabam, there you go.
Oh,
just dive right in, right?
I love this. This is great. This is awesome. And so let's talk a little. Let's get into the podcast. So you have radio show, podcast. What kind of? First off, I love bringing podcasters on here so that my audience can get a feel for their flavor of the content they create, and also check out their podcast. So what kind of all my listeners that are going to go over there and check you out? What kind of content can they expect?
It's pretty lively for considering it's. Financial stuff can tend to be a bit boring, but we try and keep it lively and have fun. I have a co-host on the show with me who's a great advisor at our firm, Alex Klingon-Smith, and he's mellow and calm and always brings us back to the point, and I tend to be a little rowdy and out there, and so we balance each other pretty well. But we just talk about concepts, a lot about business owners and executives who are approaching retirement, business owners about to have a liquidity event. We talk about just, the basic, the 8 steps to creating a better investment strategy. All kinds of different things that touch on, just how to not make behavioral blunders as an investor so that you can get the great returns that are available in the markets. Let me give you a quick example, Adam. When you look at the average return of investors, individuals who are investing in the stock bond market through mutual funds or ETFs or individual stock, the average investor gets a return of about half of the actual markets. Markets meaning all the stocks and all the bonds. They get about half the returns of the markets, and that's terrible, right? How would, if you just bought the markets, you would get the market returns. So the reason why they do that, we expose that a lot on the show and just try and get people focused on the things that they can control while ignoring all those extracurricular noises and things that tend to take you off track, and also you have no control over them and they just end up destroying your returns. So, in summary, that's what we're doing, is helping people avoid, investment blunders and build great portfolios and live with financial peace of mind while they maximize their best financial life.
So as a podcaster, I know I shouldn't ask this question because it's always like what you don't do, but I love asking it. And people, it's like having you choose between all your babies. What was one of your favorite moments on the show that you can remember?
Oh, geez, that's a good one, because I mean, we have 200 shows in the
I know, and that's why I ask it. It's all good, and I would hate if somebody ever asked me that question, so it's so mean. And I said I was like, I apologize before I asked the question, but I want my listeners to know why they should go check it out, and that's the one that I can ask that lets them know. So give us one of your personal favorites where you're like, oh my gosh.
Gosh, I mean, I'm going to try. I'm trying, but I'm digging deep. It's such a learning process on these podcasts and learning how to do it and, what's interesting to people. And I would say I'm still in my infancy. I mean, I think you're a pro. I'm a baby in this world, just, getting on there and.
We both are. Neither of us are Joe Rogan, so we're good there. Come on, just a little tip. Or it could be a tip. It could be a tip. It could be something. Don't overthink it. Like, first thing that came to mind, we were like, oh, that was pretty funny. It could be a joke. It doesn't matter.
I have the most fun when I go off the rails, right? When I lose the rails, I go off, and it almost becomes more of a talk show than a finance show. Sometimes I get political, and I try not to because I get slapped, and I have my clients who aren't on the same political side of me saying, "What are you doing?" And I love them and respect them regardless. But we've had shows where we end up talking about gun rights. We've had shows where we end up, we had a recent one on COVID. And my personal belief is just we're going completely overboard on how we're handling this as a country. But again, just a personal belief. So I think that's probably the most fun, is when we get off the rails and we get light and loose and have some fun, and then somehow tie it back to wealth management, right? Somehow tie it back to, see, here's an example of something you can't control, and that's the same as your money. You should be focusing on the things you can control. And so I think that's probably the best answer I can get you, man.
No, and that's what I needed, and I got it from you, so thank you. I needed to know the flavor of your show, and now people that are listening that are interested in hearing a financial advisor that's not going to be boring and that's going to say some things that you wouldn't normally expect, like bringing up gun rights or other things like that. Like, that's what I needed from you. So you knocked it out. So the right people are now going to go check it out. Now I think your show is more interesting to me, too. I mean, the name's good, Financial Detox, but I want to hear some other things too, some juicy stuff, and it looks like that's what you're doing, and it looks like your co-host is reeling you back in, like, all right, Jason, come on, and this is how it relates to financial planning. I love it.
Yeah, he's a perfect balance, man. He's like my steady rock. He brings me back home for sure.
Oh, that's awesome, man. So that being said, so Jason, final question, 2-part question. So number one, if somebody is listening to this and they want to learn more about your practice, so intelligence-driven advisors, number one, what is typically the right type of client that is usually a good fit and that you'd like working with, you and your firm, number one, and number two, what are the best ways for people to follow up and to learn more about the firm and about Financial Detox in general?
Yeah, perfect. Thanks so much. I kind of think of us as like a Dave Ramsey 2.0. Dave does such a phenomenal job getting people out of debt and on a savings plan and paying attention to their money through the baby steps, and his whole program is great. We're more of a firm and a show that's designed for people who have created some wealth or are about to approach a liquidity event. They've accumulated some wealth, they've worked, they have a big 401k, they're retiring, things like that is really our best client. And we end up working with lots of professionals, doctors and lawyers and CPAs and different folks like that. And we have also just an enormous amount of business owners and executives. So those are the ideal clients. And we love, we've done a terrible job, unlike you, we've done a terrible job of marketing my book and the show. So, we got to drive more people to financialdetox.com. But I'd say the best place to learn about us and our firm and really get a flavor for who we are is at IDA Wealth. That's Intelligence Driven Advisors, right? IDAwealth.com. That's our main webpage, and there's contact us forms there. There's some great information about our firm and our people. And you can, I think, spending a few minutes on that, you can really tap into what we do and I think start to get a feel for the difference, because not all financial advice is created equal. There is a radical difference in financial advice being given today from big, well-named firms versus boutique RIAs such as ours. It is a radically different experience and end result for the client. So the website's the best, IDAwealth.com. We'll give you a feel for who we are and what we're doing.
Fantastic, Jason. Well, hey, really appreciate you coming on the show today and sharing more about all the great work you're doing and the Financial Detox brand that you've created, helping clients out there, man. I really love it. And to the audience, as always, thank you for tuning in. Hope you got a lot of value out of this. If you did, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast, leave me a review on the Apple iTunes Store, and if you're watching this on our YouTube channel, Mission Matters Money, definitely give us a subscribe there, but also leave us some comments in the video. I mean, love to know what kind of projects and things that you're working on. And Jason, thanks again for coming on the show.
Such a pleasure. Thank you, Adam. Great job, man. Your show's awesome.